Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Freaky Friday, I should say. This is Greg Yachtman, and today we are going to have one of our Freaky Fridays, and we've got a few things to cover and two guys that are going to lead us through that process. So first and foremost, I thank you for joining us and coming with us on this freaky journey. Now, the two freaks, as it were, that are going to be guiding us through the content today are first Mark Jimenez. We've now dubbed him MJ, so he can go with JR very easily. So Mark, or MJ, say hello.
Hello.
So if you haven't met Mark, please do reach out to him if you are connected to the CELONA team already, and let him know that you'd like to speak to him more, especially if you want to get techie and geeky with some stuff that he's working on and testing. JR is just joining us in a second, just working on some stuff in his lab right now. But for the duration of this, the show will really be focused on two folks, MJ and JR. And there are, as we have in all of our webinars and all of our online content, there are some logistics that we like to kind of remind you of, or housekeeping. One, you can submit questions or comments at any time. This should be an open forum for everyone. So please feel free to reach out, ask something, say something, make comments, as long as they're appropriate, of course. Also, feel free to chat with other freaks. So members of the frequency community, we lovingly call freaks. And that is the good way, as in you're a freak about something, like a speed freak or, a Nike freak or, whatever it is. In this case, we're talking about CBRS and the technology around LTE and 5G. But if you want to see this again, we are recording, so you can watch it on demand. And if you want to know more about CELONA, you can always reach out to us at celona.io. But we thank you for that. Now, what we're going to do is we're probably going to swap around two things. We'll probably go with Mark first. JR is just working on some last-minute stuff, as it is in the lab. So, Mark, you okay with that, swapping that up?
I am, and I just took myself off of mute. Sorry. Yes, I am.
That's perfect. So unless JR has any objection to that, JR, would you like to Mark to jump in first?
No, I mean, I can go ahead. I've figured out how I can get around Livestorm's stupid permissions.
All right. So aside from slacking my platform, let's let JR take over for this Freaky Friday. So JR, without further ado, instead of jumping to Mark, I guess we will go into you and your content for today. So hang on, buckle your seatbelt. Here he goes.
Good morning, folks. So today we're going to talk about some of the devices I've been working with over the last few weeks. We'll start with a USB adapter from AMIT Wireless, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Inseego MiFi 8000, which is a CBRS compatible hotspot, and then we'll talk about the RealWear wearable headset and how we connect that to CBRS. The AMIT modem we've had on test for a couple of months now, and when we first received it, we were seeing that test results were in the region of sort of 60 meg, 50 meg, and only sort of 8 meg up. So we knew that channel aggregation was not happening. So on our indoor APs, we use channel aggregation configuration, which should yield in an ideal test scenario, we're going to get sort of 130 by 26. That's sort of 130, 140 by 26 would be the absolute max, or 27. So that's where we're looking to get to with channel aggregation. So we could see that the AMIT just wasn't achieving that. So in the setup, that was not happening. Now we ran some tests. We worked with our internal RAN team, and they were able to view exactly what was happening when the AMIT was connecting to the CELONA platform through our AP. And we were able to see that the negotiation for channel aggregation wasn't being set up correctly. So the RAN team made some changes to our radio firmware and updated that. And now we have a much better result. So let me just go quickly to just open up my modem monitoring tool. Bear me 1 second. Let's actually have this connected to Windows. Let's open. Let's have a look. 1 second. And USB modems, why are they important? Well, we've got a bunch of kids out there right now potentially connecting to CBRS networks with a bunch of Chromebooks. And why is that important for the AMIT? Well, the AMIT is a multifunction, so it will work on Windows. It does require drivers for that, not ideal, but it does work on Windows. It also works on Mac and also works on Linux as well, and Chromebook. So let's just show you something. Just open that up. Oh, okay. We will. 1 second. File doesn't move. Excuse me. There it is. Right, so we'll share screen. And we will. So you can see I have this device connected to my Windows machine right now, and it is in Windows mode. If I wanted to put it in Chromebook mode, just click the button, takes about 2 minutes, and then that device is switched. The default configuration is Windows, so you would have to go through and swap these all out for your Chromebooks. I'm sure if we spoke to the nice folks at AMIT, that is shout out to Kate and Tim at AMIT, who've been very supportive through this period. They would be able to ship those to you, I'm sure, in Chromebook mode by default. But, you know, very important for these big networks that are being built out for kids' education. As I said, on Windows, it does require drivers. Not ideal, but you know, if you've got management of all your Windows laptops, that's a pretty simple thing to overcome. And in terms of the performance figures we achieved, let's just have a quick look at what we achieved on that recently. There we go. Here. I'm not used to using Edge browser. So our latest Iperf results, you can see these are the Iperf tests we use as standard. I think we've got these published somewhere in our docs. If we don't, we'll upload those in future, because if there are any devices that you have or you want to compare to any test we've run, it's very simple. Just run this test. We run Iperf to a local server. This is a UDP download test. So we run that. We try and force 200 megasecond through that link. And we have a local Iperf server on the LAN to push this. And you can see that we achieved overall over a 30-second test. That's the time there, runs for 30 seconds. That's the 200 meg target. You can see we hit 124 megasecond. And on the upload test, which is this test here, we have a target of 30 meg. We run that for 30 seconds again. And our overall result was 15.3. So huge improvement as soon as we applied the new firmware, and we achieved these throughput rates. So if you're looking for a USB modem device, can highly recommend talking to AMIT, and we can share, while Mark's talking, I'll share in chat the contact addresses for the folks at AMIT, which may be helpful for you all. So now that we've gone through that one, we're gonna this one's going to look a bit weird because I'm going to have to share my OBS project window. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to take you through the Inseego MiFi. Now the Inseego MiFi, we've done a bunch of testing outdoors with this for sort of large fixed wireless access type networks, to see how this performed in comparison to our other indoor CPE options. So let me just show you some of those test results. All right, so confirm. Yep, okay, you're seeing that. Great. So we had an outdoor network deployed. I was up in North Michigan in April. We were testing up there. Nice, clean environment. No other CBRS in the air. And we were testing the Bicell's IDO6, which is an indoor CPE from Bicell, sort of sub $150. The Zyxel indoor CPE as well. Again, both of these single Ethernet port, pretty basic, 2.4 Wi-Fi, but great low-cost indoor CPE options. And you can see we had a number of different test locations. We simulated indoor testing by testing from inside the car, and we simulated outdoor. We did the outdoor testing by putting the devices on the roof. Now, one thing you can see is that at sort of longer ranges, we were able to, with the MiFi, we were actually seeing better performance. If we look at this one here, which is, where are we at? Yeah, we are at basically 200 meters, and our signal strength is recorded here. So neg 111. We weren't getting as good signal strength as the other devices, but we outperformed them on the test. So we were looking at a 12.4 megasecond download and 1.05 meg up, which that is enough to do plenty to do a Zoom call. And at 200 meters with a sort of palm-sized device simulating indoors, that's a pretty great result. And again, outdoors, when we're looking at the performance out there, we're seeing incredible performance at a similar sort of range, that 200 meter range. Again, RSRP a little low, but our performance absolutely exceptional at that range. So the MiFi is another great option if you're looking at fixed wireless access networks. And so I'll stop sharing that for a second, because the very last thing I'll show you is we're actually able to use this MiFi. Obviously, it has a Wi-Fi hotspot 802.11ac built in. So it is 5 gig as well. Great thing about this is students could just take it where there's better signal. It has battery for sort of 5-6 hours working. So it's a great option. And the actual use case I'm going to show you today is, let me show you my, so you can get a view of my desk here. Just one second. So OBS project, see if this will work. Okay, so you should see my desk now. Can someone give me a confirmation that they can see it?
Yes, can see it, JR.
All right, excellent. So you can see I have the MiFi 8000. I've got a USB-C cable in this because I am connecting it to the this is the RealWear HMT1 head-mounted camera. It's basically an Android device you wear on your head. We have it tethered via USB-C into the MiFi 8000. So, basically the MiFi could go in the pocket, and then we put the headset on here, and I am connected right now. So everything on this is voice connected. Now, this is the use case for these kind of things is industrial remote support, all kinds of things. Anywhere where you might have someone remotely who could do with a first-person view of what the person is seeing. So the arm here has a little screen. It's got the equivalent of a 7-inch tablet, and I can just glance down at that, and I can see the screen, see what's going on. As I say, I'm tethered to the MiFi 8000. So let's just navigate home. That beep you hear is the confirmation. My programs, Teams. Now I'm just opening Microsoft Teams now, and I'm going to place a call to myself. Let me just see if I can. Okay, navigate back. Navigate back. Let's just okay. My controls. Mouse on. Mouse. This is the fun part, right? You're really enjoying watching me do this. Navigate home. Navigate home. My programs. Teams. Select item 1. Select item 1. Select item. Okay, it's going to be a real pain for me now. Hates my English accent. British accent, sorry. Select item 1. Okay, done. Mark, do you want to take over for a minute while I get this thing to listen to me? And
Sure.
I'll place a call on Teams in a second. See, this is the fun of doing these things live.
It sure is.
We stop sharing.
All right. All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Mark Jimenez. I'm a tech marketing engineer here at CELONA. Just a little bit about myself, because I think that's going to lend into what I'm interested in, what I would like to test and show off, like with CELONA. I was tech marketing WAN optimization with Riverbed for a little over 10 years, almost 11 years there. And so that's the closest I've been to the network, to the wire, right, in my career here in Silicon Valley. Afterwards, I went into Kubernetes in terms of, platform as a service, security, and optimizing. But now I'm back, not just, at the wire, but beyond it on RAN. So this is an exciting time for me. So today, we're going to get freaky with CELONA and CBRS, of course. But in addition, Zoom, Iperf, the two usual suspects, but something new, a metronome. And what's a metronome going to do in today's Freaky Friday section for me? Well, I'm going to show you. So first, I'm going to show just a couple of diagrams to show you what things look like here at my home lab. Sharing my screen right now. Right, and so you should just see a diagram of what we're going to run here. Essentially, I'm going to be running 4 of these devices.
Hey, Mark, don't see the diagram yet.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Share screen. Here we go. I actually have to follow through with the share screen stuff. All right. Got it?
Got it.
All right. So this, I just have a regular home network here in San Francisco. I'm running Netgear out to Comcast. Right. I'm just running a Netgear Nighthawk. And these 4 devices, 2 iPhones and 2 Android type devices, are all Wi-Fi'd into this Netgear device. Right. And so we'll see. I'll just show what does the network look like when these 4 devices are on the network. And then as a simple change, and this is where I'm going to get brave with Freaky Friday, I'm going to take these same 4 devices, right, and switch them over to CELONA. So all of these 4 devices are CELONA compatible. They all have the CELONA SIM in them. And I'm going to switch them over to CELONA, and we'll see what things look like in terms of the network performance again with just those same 4 devices. And so who runs like Iperf and Zoom, especially at home and by yourself, right? Like really only folks, I guess, who are into testing these things, right? Iperf, you can think of that as a model for other applications. In this case, I want to deprioritize Iperf in favor of Zoom, right? So just application A is more important for me in this network in terms of performance than application B. So Zoom versus Iperf, right? So we'll run Zoom and Iperf in both of these setups. And then we'll see what does it look like in CELONA to configure microslicing. All right, so I'm going to switch cameras to my desk camera. Whoa, a lot of picture in picture going on there. Let's switch this to enable camera.
If you've ever seen Inception, you know where we're going right now.
Oh, man.
We're going deeper.
Oh, man, that's like okay, here we go. Update device settings. Okay, so I've set it to stream camera. I've got my microphone. Okay, so, I want to stop sharing, actually. That's what I want to do, right? Yes. And
there
so,
you go, Mark.
Greg, can you confirm, are you seeing my desk?
I see it, man.
We see it all.
Kind of mirrored, like the Wi-Fi is like looking kind of mirrored to me, but that's okay. We can work with this. So this is my what I have here for the, I have two PCs, Windows 7 PCs. Those are hardwired into the Netgear just to give me a reference for Iperf and Zoom, right? And then the four devices that are currently on Wi-Fi. Does that look reversed and mirrored to you?
It's all good. We can see it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. It's looking all reversed to me. I feel like I'm standing on the other side, but that's okay. I can continue, right? And so here are two of my iPhones on Zoom, and these are my two Android devices that I'll be running Iperf for. And so right now, again, all of these 4 devices here are on Wi-Fi right now. And so let's run our fancy automated data generator for Zoom. This is just a metronome. Back in the day, it used to be what kept me honest for cello lessons. Now it's being repurposed for helping me automate video on Zoom. So that little pink trapezoid that's moving, you can see it also on the phone. And right now, there isn't much contention on the network, right? Everyone's getting what they need in terms of bandwidth and response time. So I'm going to start Iperf on this phone here first, just by itself, to see what the effects are on the network. So remember, again, all of these devices are on Wi-Fi, and I'm running 50 meg up on here, and that's pretty. I mean, it's not much changing there. Performance is still acceptable from a. Okay, there was a little blip there, and that's fine, right? I mean, Wi-Fi here, all of these 3 devices are competing with each other for resources on the network. Well, let's add a little bit more, right? Let's take this second Android device and do the same thing. So this device also can run Iperf. Make sure I'm logged into it. Let's stop the data generation for a second. I'll log into this phone.
Sorry in advance for those of you who are highly susceptible to being hypnotized, because it can happen.
All right, so let's start the video again. Again, nice. Everyone's nice and smooth. And this time we'll turn on both of these phones. So on and on, and both of these are pushing 50 meg. And right away there, I don't know if you saw it, Greg. A little bit of a blip, and the Zoom session, or I'm sorry, the live storm session we're on is on a separate network, right? So that what's going on in here with Iperf and Zoom isn't interfering with the presentation, right? And these Iperfs are just 15 seconds. I'll run it again really quick, just so you can see it. Yeah, it doesn't take much, right? And these are just 4 devices on the Wi-Fi network with no QoS. I have to add no QoS on this network. And I'm going to do the same thing now. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these devices join the CELONA network, and just like it is here on Wi-Fi, I have no micro slicing or QoS policies configured, right? So it'll be vanilla Wi-Fi for me and vanilla CELONA. Right? So let's transition these into a CELONA network. Right, so the SIMs are already installed on these devices. So what I'm going to do is just disable Wi-Fi, right? Enable cellular data, and you should see CELONA there. Yep. I don't know if I should be brave and stay on the Zoom session or re-log in. All right, so that one's on CELONA. Let's get this one on CELONA. Turn off Wi-Fi. Enable cellular data. I'm going to reserve myself the right to re-log into Zoom if these don't reacquire during this network transition. All right, looks like they made it as they transition. Now for these Android devices, right? Same thing. Going to enable mobile data, for which I have a CELONA SIM, and disable Wi-Fi so that I can force traffic through the CELONA RAM. All right, and finally this device. All right. So let's see now what that looks like. So now all 4 of these devices are on CELONA. There's no micro slicing policy right now. Let's get our our data automation going. Looking okay so far. We'll start with one Iperf, 50 meg up. About 3 seconds. Relatively smooth. And now we're going to run Iperf on both of these. I mean, so why? I mean, this is not supposed to be. And this part of the Freaky Friday is not supposed to be like Wi-Fi versus Celona. Certainly, but whatever tool you use it to the best that you can, right? If you're running Wi-Fi, certainly like run QoS, right? But for why do folks consider Celona? Why do folks consider CBRS? One, for the free lanes, right? If you already have lanes out there in Wi-Fi, why not give yourself more lanes through CBRS? And just owning your own private LTE network in general just sounds super cool, right? In terms of security, right? In terms of control and access to the network, handover, mobility, things like that. And then with Celona, right? Celona gives you essentially the enterprise on-ramp into this whole world of CBRS, right? End to end, from the SIMs into the devices all the way to management with microslices, right? And I didn't seem like we really broke the network with those two devices. So let's add a little bit more. There we have a bi-cell CPE device with a hardwire to a MacBook, which also can do Iperf to my Iperf server. So let's try all three. Go and go and go. These are all 50 meg Iperfs.
So there's no microslicing right now, Mark, right?
No microslicing right now. Apparently there's enough on the network, enough room in the network for all of these to coexist nicely.
I mean, this is the power of TDD, right? So you've got all those devices, but with TDD versus a shared medium, they're
I'm pretty tapped out of devices. I'm gonna need to get more from you to really push it here. And so so let's look at what does it take to, like, if I was going to put more devices on the CBRS network at some point, right? We're going to have contention for that medium, right? For the radio area network. What can we do with microslicing in Celona? And so I'm going to switch back into screen here for Celona. I'm going to share my screen. Share video. No, I'm just trying to share my desktop. Okay, entire screen. Share. All right. Greg, can you verify you're seeing the Celona, or can someone verify you're seeing the Celona site? All right. So welcome to the dashboard of Celona. We get right to microslicing. And so again, we don't have any other microslices than what's born out of the box, right? And so this is the default microslice. So all of the Iperfs, right, and all of the Zoom are in this one microslice. And at some point, when we keep adding more and more devices, eventually there's going to be contention, right? So we can make a new microslice, right, specifically for Zoom, and I can click through all of this. But me personally, I'm not really clicky type person. Only for to see the interface myself the first time, that's cool. But in terms of steady state really running the network at the enterprise, you need to be able to automate this, right? And so we do have API access to everything in Celona, right? So there are APIs for example, creating a microslice here. So I have just this quick script for body of a script that Python script that I can call to create that microslice, right? So instead of doing all that click through, right? So I'll just run that, a little bit of verification, do the refresh, and bam, there is my Zoom microslice.
That's super cool.
And so, essentially with CELONA, you get the enterprise on-ramp into CBRS in terms of performance, in terms of security. JR, are you ready?
Yeah, I can see if I can make this thing do a Teams call.
Okay.
And we may not get much audio because I'm having to share and talk at the same time. But I'll share my Teams window and place a call. Give me 1 second. Where did you go, Teams? Let's go to calls. Okay. So now the headset is named Laszlo after Laszlo Cravensworth in What We Do in the Shadows. If you don't watch that TV show, I highly recommend it. So let me just call now. I'm going to call from the headset to the to MS Teams, and you should see the video come up. Select item 1. Select item. Select item. Make call. Oh, I know what happened. There we go. My programs. Teams. Select item 2. Select item 2. There we go. Turn mic off. Okay, so now you can see it's a lovely day outside here in California. Sorry about the feedback. But, this is also
Hey, JR, we're still looking at the call screen.
which is very cool. So you can see.
JR, you have to
Yeah.
switch to the visual. Right now, we're still looking at the call screen.
Yes,
We want to see the lovely day outside.
it is a lovely day outside. Hang on 1 second. Just moving that one. Okay, we should be getting better, less feedback now. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, sounds all right. We just couldn't see the camera.
Yeah, sorry, I'm making everyone dizzy, I realize. Okay, so while we're here, the reason for this headset, what is it? Well, you could help someone work on this setup. So this is actually the project I'm working on called CELONA Air. We're basically putting a CBRS network into a Pelican case that you'll be able to take around. And this will be available for partners in the near future. So this is just on test at the minute. I'm running 3 devices from this meanwhile power supply. So, it's pretty fun. I'm using step down things. But the idea is that with RealWare, you can give someone a view of what you're seeing and have someone give you remote support. So I will end call, terminate call. All right. That. So let me share and I'll show you how we do the microslicing for. Go here. Okay. So we can do microslicing for Teams, obviously. As the same as we do, as Mark did for Teams, we create that application. Teams is quite helpful in that you can go into the dashboard and you can configure specific ports, custom ports that the system will use, which is very helpful because it enables us to really nail down what the microslice parameters would be. And here for the application detection, we're saying it's remote port. So the server side, the cloud side, 3478 to 3481. And you can set that in your Microsoft Teams admin. For your real-time media, you can set those to be the ports that are used for all of that. And with that information, we're then able to say, okay, for anyone doing Microsoft Remote Assistance, we want to set, we'll set that to highest priority. we have a device group for HoloLens users and remote assist Teams users. We can update that. And then just for regular remote assistance, you can see we've got highest priority signaling, remote assistance group, and just regular MS Teams apps. So you can, have different Teams platforms, different Teams setup, all on the same platform, and we can microslice them and give them different priorities. So it's a pretty impressive. So you can make sure that anyone there on the factory floor, in the warehouse, out in the field, wherever they may be, we're getting greater coverage through CBRS, and we're delivering a better service because this is going to be superior to a Wi-Fi call in a tough environment like that. So obviously, a lot of folks who are looking at this type of the RealWear headset, very, very interested in trying it with CBRS. So if you've got any commercial industrial customers in that space, definitely have a chat to them about the RealWear. We're also working on the HoloLens. That's we'll have some more information on that soon, but we also have that connected to CBRS. So some pretty cool stuff with these wearable cameras, wearable AR. It's going to get pretty exciting. And that is me for today. If anyone has questions.
Awesome. Yeah, questions or comments time. All right. So if you have something to say, something to ask, this is the right time to do it. You can either ask in the questions box on the right-hand side of your screen or function, or in the chat. One thing I wanted to call out too was that we're always interested in hearing what devices or specific capabilities that you want to hear. As you've seen, both JR and Mark get pretty freaky with this technology, and they really start digging in deep and looking for ways to use it differently or better. So if you do have something in mind, whether it's push to talk or whether it's a camera or something else, it's a wearable, you call it out. Let us know what you're thinking about using or what you'd like to see used. And possibly it's already in their lab. If not, we might be able to get it and showcase it on the next Freaky Friday.
Just unmute myself there. Thanks for the question, Nikos. Yeah, the call from the headset point of view. Unfortunately, I have to be USB tethered to the MiFi, which means I haven't quite got it to stream out from the headset yet. What you see, typically, the window is just your controls for the application that you're in. So there isn't actually a lot to see. But the the first person view from the camera was the main thing. But I'll probably do a recorded video where I can stream out the view from the headset as well. But if you go to realwear.com, they've got a bunch of videos on there demonstrating how the system works. But it's apart from not always understanding my crazy accent, my mixed Australian, British, Welsh, all over the place accent, it's great.
I like your accent. We're sticking with it. All right. Any other questions? Any other comments that the folks here would like to raise? I know we're coming to the end of the session, but if you don't have the question right now in mind, or if it comes to you later, you can always reach out to us either through hello@Celona, the email, also via our social media accounts, or directly to either Mark or Jeremy. You can probably connect with them easily on LinkedIn, but there's other places as well online and Twitter as well. So the next thing I would like to say is calling all freaks, which if you are a member of the Frequency community, you are a freak in the best way possible. We would like to get some of this gear in your hands. And if you feel like, if you don't already have it, of course, let us know how you'd like to use it and what you'd like to do with it. And we can get you on that path to the express lane. Anything else you'd like to add, Mark or Jeremy, on the trial front?
Nikos on chat mentioned wanting to see the case. Jeremy, does the case that I have, is it similar to what you're working on now? So that's the,
yeah,
I don't know if you can see it. That's a shot of the.
That's V1. Well, that's
okay.
not even V1. That's V.01.
You have the cooler one then.
Yeah, there's new stuff coming. But essentially, yeah, basically a roll-on that you can run a 200 device CBRS network from. Pretty cool. One thing I did want to say, and I did post it in chat, if anyone, obviously there's more and more people got the platform in their hands and they're testing devices that maybe we aren't. If there's anything that you're testing and you're happy to share some results, just performance results, how it connects, those kind of things. And as I mentioned, you're welcome to use our Iperf tests. I'll publish those. publish that on frequency. We'd love to see it. And I'm sure if, the most popular ones Greg will sort you out with some swag for sure.
That's right. That was actually going to be my pitch on the next slide. So you stole my thunder.
Damn it. Sorry, Greg.
I know. But I do want to make sure that this becomes a habit and that you do join us again. On June 18th, we will have our next Freaky Friday. More devices, more tech, and more talk. But in the meantime, you can register. The slides will be available to you. You also get an email. So if you have attended today, we have you on the list. We'll make sure that you have a link to join us. Please do share with your peers, your friends, or others that are in the industry that might benefit from this conversation. To just mix and mingle. It's not here to be a sales pitch. It's more of a community discussion. So please do participate with us. Feel free to join us. And yes, there is swag attached to this in the form of t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, stickers, all sorts of stuff that we'd love to get you kitted out with as an active frequency member. So stay in touch, stay active, and help us promote this thing to grow bigger and bigger until one day we can see each other face to face and get this stuff, these demos done in person. Can you imagine the world when that happens? So until then, unless there's anything else, Mark, JR, you got the last word before we sign off.
I just wanted to, sorry, I just wanted to say hi to a few friends who checked in. So hi to Granville and hi to Tom Pitt Chambers. Great to see you here, folks. Hope to see you out on the road soon.
All right, Mark, any shout out? Any last bit?
I'm okay for now, but thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
And I don't know anyone right now on the list, but hopefully that will change soon.
That's right. We'll get to know Mark. He's relatively new to the team, but not too new. But man, he's a veteran in the industry and somebody that you definitely should know in addition to JR. So please don't be a stranger. Come back soon. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, everyone.